The success you have today are basically a result of something you did many days, months, and weeks ago.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Nina from Karma Marketing, and for March content feature, we'll be focusing on process of mastery. And when we say mastery, we know a lot of people tend to kind of put it in the same terms of perfection. So for this month, we'd like to stray away from that narrative. And instead of focusing on achieving perfection, we want to build that healthy ritual of really focusing, cultivating skills, such as building that sense of discipline and also building adaptability as we continuously learn in our skills or also our craft of expertise. And we have a special guest, which I feel he will share very important insights to how he's done this and even promote continuous learning in his craft of marketing. So we have Reuben Ch'ng here. He is the founder of Daily CMO, and I'll have him introduce himself and just say hi. So Reuben, go ahead.
Hi, thank you, Nina, for having me. Hopefully, I'm able to offer an insight or two. So, my name is Reuben. I run Daily CMO. We are a marketing newsletter, and we serve marketers and also founders with in trend and also updated knowledge in marketing. We send marketing newsletter every single day, and we also do consultations, and we run pretty cool marketing events, conferences for marketers and founders again.
Awesome. Very well-rounded marketer. So we'll be revolving on the topic, which is achieving that mastery mindset through discipline and adaptability. So we'll start off with the first question, which is more personal. How would you personally define mastery in terms of what you've gone through or what you're currently promoting?
Mastery. I think mastery is a huge word, right? And I think everyone's definition of mastery is a little bit different. So to me, mastery is about being really good at something, and I think mastery comes when you are taking action. So I think I experienced this in myself as well, right? So in terms of mastery, there's no shortcuts around that. There's no shortcuts. There's nothing you can do but to do the work, right? And in the case of like newsletters, if I were to give an example of newsletters, right? The first newsletter would probably be bad. The second will be bad. The fifth will be bad. The 10 will be bad. Maybe even up to the hundreds will be bad, right? But it's through that process of doing it again and again and again, you find something that hits, right? Like I do not know which newsletter will actually be a hit or not, and I've been doing this for like 1 year plus, right? The newsletter alone, right? And in terms of content marketing itself, I've been doing it for years. I still do not know if a particular content would hit or not, right? So it's the process of doing and putting in the work that you build this mastery.
Yeah, I'm glad you bring that up because especially with your current newsletter, you guys do daily newsletter sending. And I feel like a lot of people tend to get afraid of just beginning just because they instantly think that the first thing that they put out is going to be perfect. And I guess like in terms of what you've done for Daily CMO as well, how have you kind of gotten over perfectionism, or like how do you put yourself or motivate yourself to just do the work without the doubts or like the fear mindset of just trying to get something done perfectly?
Short answer is I don't. I still struggle with that. I think I have this imposter syndrome inbuilt in us. We feel like perfect, but yet we hold back from saying what we want to say or writing what we want to say because we are afraid of what others for, right? So one little mindset shift that I've learned, right, is to stop focusing on yourself but focus on the others, right?
True.
Is this good for you or is this good for the person on the other end, right? And when you take that narrative away, right, when you change your perception towards it, your frame towards it, that this isn't about you, this is about who you're reaching, right? If they receive your email, would they enjoy it? Would they get something from it? And it's nothing to do about you, right? So I feel like people who are afraid of putting things out there, that's normally because they're thinking about themselves. What will people think about me? What if people think I'm silly? What if people think I'm weird? Me, right? So change that narrative.
I hate it because like I resonate in that sense.
I think everyone does. Everyone has imposter syndrome. It's imbued in us.
It really is a struggle. And I feel it's good that you also point out that, it's something that you still struggle with because that's really part of the process. It's never linear. You're never going to get to that fixed point. You're always going to
Yeah.
go back and forth with the doubts and stuff. So with the next one, based with your experience and even like delving into the marketing space, what key insights have you gained in cultivating that healthy process of trying to build mastery in your own life? It could be personal and also professional.
It's funny, the thing, I think the more I do, the more I learn, the more I know I don't know.
It's a healthy mindset. It's true.
Yeah, I mean, the more you learn, the more you do, the better you get. The more you also know that you don't know, right? So that's like the I don't know, that's like the flip side of mastery, I think. But if I can share a particular insight to mastery, I think it's about being able to do boring work again and again and again, right? Just showing up and doing the work, right? People these days, including myself, we want instant gratification from things we do. So like marketers, we'll put out an ad, we'll put out a marketing copy and email and expect people to buy something, expect something to happen, right? And when that does not happen, we feel a little bit like, oh, something's not right.
Yeah,
Right?
something to me is
So,
right.
right. So we want that instant gratification. When we put out a piece of content, for example, we want people to like, comment, and engage and share it, right? But what if it does not happen? So I think the process of mastery, one insight I can share is to be able to go through that slog of doing the dreadful and boring work again and again. And I think those people who comes up on top are those people who can endure that boring work.
It's actually quite timing that you bring that up too, because I was listening to this podcast from Diary of a CEO, and he was talking about how it's not necessarily like the big wins or like the big steps or the big tasks that actually get you the results. It's actually the menial and small things that you're bringing yourself to do that makes everything work. And I think a lot of people tend to forget the little things because it's boring, or maybe it's because it's not something that's passionate or like something that's enticing, or the things that are harder to do. Bringing yourself to actually do it is like 10 times more respectable compared to like doing something that you actually want to do.
Yeah. I think that makes a lot of sense.
With this too, when you brought up, the more that you learn and the more that you expose yourself to things that can help you grow, the more you don't know. And does this also, like in terms of uncertainty or things that you don't know, is this why you're also motivated to do the Underdog conference, gathering other people to share their own case studies, their own approaches, because you embrace that kind of thing or that kind of approach?
I've ran Underdog for, I think this is the 5th time. Everyone feels like, you're just doing the same thing, you're just repeating an event, right? But every time I run it, I learn something new again, right? I find myself making mistakes again. And some of these mistakes are mistakes that I repeat again, which I wouldn't want to do it again. But it's every time when you do it, you learn something new. The markets are a little bit different, people are a little bit different, the teams are different. So it's sort of like doing a new thing over and over again. I think it's through this process you achieve mastery in a way. And to add on top of that, I think all success are lagging indicators. So the success you have today are basically a result of something you did many days, months, and weeks ago. So what will you do today that will give you that success months and years? We wired to be short-sighted. We're not really wired to be long-sighted. So for example, a fill-up conference, that success is usually filled by weeks and months, I don't know, of things that you've done right, maybe.
Yeah, I think it's like the compound effect too, right? It's like it's better to do 4% of something every day compared to going 100% every other day or every other week. What piece of advice would you give out to anyone else who is trying to cultivate mastery or trying to achieve that own perfect sense of mastery?
Don't compare yourself to other people because everyone is in a different race. Everyone have different circumstances. So I think when we want to be great at something, we tend to compare ourselves with people who are like 100 steps ahead from us, right? And then we feel a little bit disappointed or down because we're not there yet, right? Like if you're a startup, if you are someone who is just beginning to start a business, you don't want to compare yourself with Elon Musk, who has hours and hours and hours of mastery, right? And you compare yourself with Elon Musk, say, oh, I'm not like him. And then we start looking at the finer details. Oh, what kind of software does he use? What kind of computer does he use? If I use that, then I become like him. Now, you have to realize that you shouldn't be comparing yourself with other people who seem to be more successful already, because we are all in different races.
Yeah. I think too, it's kind of like be aware enough to position yourself realistically, but also don't be afraid or don't hold yourself back from also just reaching high, I guess. Reach for the
Yeah.
side, sorry. Reach for the stars, but keep yourself grounded, you know?
Yeah, and social media is just it's a double-edged sword, right? It's a good place to network and to connect, but it's
Yeah.
also a place for you to compare yourself with others very
Yeah.
easily, and that's the danger in mastery.
Because in the end, if you always just go for the end point of things,
Mhm,
you're never
mhm.
going to be satisfied because then you're going to look for another end point. You're going to look for a
Yeah,
newer goal, and you'll just end up not trying to enjoy what you're going through, but just trying
mhm.
to get through it, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Ruben, for sharing your own stories and insights. I hope to anyone that's listening, hope you gotten a little bit of nugget of wisdom from this conversation. And stay tuned for the next content feature of Karma Marketing. For now, peace and love, Karma Marketing.